An unprecedented and unfortunate series of political upmanship has started over an ex-Jawan's suicide today morning. Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi, who had gone to visit the victim's family at the Ram Hospital, was stopped at the gates itself. He was then briefly detained at the Mandir Marg police station. He launched a scathing attack on the Prime Minister, saying that him being blocked from meeting the victim's family is nothing but a sign of dictatorship.
पहली बार हमें अपने सेना के परिवारों से मिलने नहीं दिया जा रहा है। सर, आपको लगता है पहली बार इतिहास में, इस देश के इतिहास में हमें अपने सेना के परिवारों से नहीं मिलने दिया जा रहा है। कैसा हिंदुस्तान बनाया जा रहा है यहाँ? बाहर आ रहे हैं।
राहुल, आपको लगता है कि ये एक तरीके से एक आम नागरिक को अंदर नहीं जाने दिया जा रहा है? पहले काम के बाद में राहुल गांधी, अब आपको भी अंदर जाने नहीं दिया जा रहा है, आम लोगों को भी अंदर जाने नहीं दिया जा रहा है।
नया हिंदुस्तान बन रहा है भैया, नया हिंदुस्तान बन रहा है, इसको आप पहचानिए। हिंदुस्तान में आज क्या हो रहा है, आप इसको पहचानिए। वो आ रहे हैं, मुझसे मिलने आ रहे हैं। इट्स अ मेंटालिटी, it's a particular type of mentality. It's a non-democratic type of mentality.
If we see that an ex-serviceman had to give up his life because he says that the implementation of ORAP has been a failure.
मुझे बताया गया है, शायद उनको भी रोक ले।
It is not the job of Delhi police. We are not living in a police state. It's our right to go to hospital. It is our right to meet the families. Who says under which law you have to take permission to meet the families of a bereaved soldier? This is shameful. Yes, definitely. They say that they have orders from the higher ups. How can they detain otherwise?
The Aam Aadmi Party supporters are crossing outside Parliament Street Police Station. They are protesting against the kind of treatment which has been given to the Aam Aadmi Party leaders, including the Chief Minister and Deputy Chief Minister. As you can see that they are being forced to move out of this place from the Parliament Street Police Station. You can see that police is forcibly picking them up and taking them inside the buses, and there are other people, there are a number of supporters, some 100 of them, a little more than 100 supporters who have been taken forcibly. Since there is a prohibition in this area, Section 144 has been implemented, and that's why no protests are allowed other than Jantar Mantar specifically. But you can see that these supporters are quite agitated. It has become a big political issue. Both Aam Aadmi Party and Congress jumped into play. They got an entry point after the suicide by ex-defense personnel, and now they are, they are protesting here outside Parliament Street Police Station. There are women supporters as well who are sitting in, and they are protesting the kind of treatment. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal was also outside Lady Hardinge Hospital, is trying to meet, he wants to meet the relatives of the deceased, and also the Deputy Chief Minister, along with other leaders are protesting on this issue. As you can see, even women supporters are being taken out from the road. This is the spot right outside police station, and there's a big protest which is happening here outside the Parliament Street Police Station. With camera person Bipin Kumar, Arthur Khan in Delhi for India Today.
Well, it's not just Rahul Gandhi, Manish Sisodia, Delhi's Deputy Chief Minister, and the Chief Minister himself. They were also making a beeline for the family of the deceased Jawan. They were detained at the Ram Hospital. After that, Arvind Kejriwal launched a blistering attack on the Modi government, accusing it of deceiving veterans and lying about the implementation of one rank, one pension.
कार से टाइम मांग रहे थे और उन्होंने लिखा है कि मैं आत्महत्या कर रहा हूं देश के लिए और अपने साथी सैनिकों के हकों के लिए। ये बड़े दुख की बात है कि एक सैनिक को हमारे देश के अंदर आत्महत्या करनी पड़ रही है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी कह रही है हमने सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक्स किए थे, हमें वोट दो, हमें सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक्स किए थे, हमें वोट दो। पूरी तरह से राजनीति के ऊपर उतरी हुई है, सेना का राजनीतिक दुरुपयोग किया जा रहा है।
Shazia Ilmi of the BJP, Raghav Chadda of the Aam Aadmi Party with us on the phone line now. Shazia Ilmi, why aren't you letting these people meet the family of Subedar Grewal?
Padmaja, you see what the situation is like. It is not that there is any order from BJP not to let the families meet. There is a law and order situation. We trust the police to do their bit, no matter who they are, how big celebrities they are. And that is not even what I am answering, because the Delhi police has given the answer, and I am not speaking for them. But it's so despicable that everything that happens is connected with keeping elections in mind and just besmirching the image of Narendra Modi ji, the Prime Minister. It is really unfortunate that everything that happens is the political knives are sharpened at the altar of...
Okay, so I give you that argument that these politicians are going to the hospital keeping in mind the elections or something else, electoral gains. But Subedar Grewal surely would not have any political affiliations. His family is not politically affiliated. Why did he have to commit suicide, and why was his family, as is being alleged, was pushed and kicked and beaten and then detained?
No, agreed. And I think it's really unfortunate what happened, and I'm sure the Delhi police can answer that. But the fact of the matter was that there was a situation being created, and these people are going not because they care for Subedar at all or his family. They are just going for the political gain. So if the family was inviting these people maybe to bring attention to the plight, they have every right to do so, and it is upsetting the law and order situation in the area. And if the police deems fit that the matter will take an ugly turn, and it should be contained, then they have a right to do so in a sensitive situation.
Okay, so Raghav Chadda, had the politicians not made a beeline for the hospital, perhaps the situation wouldn't have gotten so ugly to begin with?
See, first of all, a democratically elected representative, being the minister, deputy chief minister of Delhi, goes to meet the bereaved family because the suicide has happened in Delhi, and he went alone without any fanfare, without any cameras, without any supporters of Aam Aadmi Party, and it was only because it is his responsibility to ensure and to basically offer his condolences and share the grief of the bereaved family. That's one. Point number two, what you are seeing today is that the Narendra Modi government has basically, tried to insult the Indian armed forces and has converted this into a crisis. What would have happened? I mean, heavens would not have fallen if the deputy chief minister or any other member of the Delhi government would have met the bereaved family for 5 minutes. And it is not about us, and forget, it is not about the politicians or the members of the Delhi government. It is about the family of the deceased soldier. They were dragged, they were kicked, they were insulted, they were humiliated. What is his fault? What is their fault?
Shazia?
They were only there to look after their family members and
I don't agree with your point about the Deputy Chief Minister and the CM visiting the family, but I'll get Shazia to respond to your second question and then ask you a few more.
Yes,
Shazia.
yes. I don't think anybody, either from the family or the relatives or anybody, should have been beaten up, or the situation should not have reached such a turn at all. Surely, whoever is responsible for looking after the safety of the family should have been more careful. But you see, you create a situation, you take political mileage, then you act all pious and naive and say, oh, it was a responsibility. We know that it was Manish Sisodia at whose behest that farmers came from Rajasthan. Then there was nothing to do. It had nothing to do with the land acquisition bill, and he committed suicide while they were giving speeches. So look who's calling the pot, calling the kettle black. It's hilarious and really stupid and shameful. The people who caused the farmer to die only because they wanted to make a big deal of the rally.
Okay, I'm glad at least you have conceded that what was done to the family was completely condemnable.
Yes, of course.
All right, because no one has so far. People have cited law and order problems. They have said that we don't even know whether this really happened, that they were calling up politicians. So I'm glad you have conceded that. But Raghav Chadda, tell me honestly, here is a family in mourning. Why would you want the entire Jatha of the Aam Aadmi Party to land up at the hospital? What are you achieving for the family?
Okay. So first of all, first things first, when the Deputy Chief Minister went to meet the bereaved family. There was no supporter with him. He went alone. There were no TV cameras. He didn't even tweet before going. So the intention was
What
only
about your chief minister?
to extend.
He did all of this and more. He tweeted before going to Lady Hardinge College. He is tweeting even as he stands outside. He has got an entire posse of the media and Aam Aadmi Party supporters there.
I will certainly come to that. Now, that's one. Number two, when the Prime Minister of India can go and meet Lance Nayak Hanumanthappa, who also is a martyr, when he can enter the ICU, that doesn't lead to a law and order position. That doesn't lead to disruption in the proceedings of the.
Raghav Chedda, you know there's a difference, right? You know there's a difference. Here was the sniff of a controversy.
When our leaders show up,
there was no controversy
when the
there.
Chief Minister
Lance
shows
Nayak
up,
Hanumanthappa was actually, hopefully at that time, recovering.
Yes.
And the PM had gone to visit him. There was no controversy there. Here there was a hint of a controversy, and you know how politicians get drawn to a controversy and why.
Padmaja, there was absolutely no controversy. I would say it is the responsibility of the democratically elected Deputy Chief Minister and Chief Minister to go and share the grief of the bereaved family. It is their responsibility. And if they would not have done, the question should have been posed to us is that why cannot you leave your Delhi Secretariat or your offices and go and share the grief of the bereaved family? And I would say that under which law in India do you need permission from the police to meet the family? The Deputy Chief Minister, being the elected leader of this city, did not commit a crime. Why is he being arrested? What sort of law and order position happened, or what sort of law and order was compromised by the mere presence of the Deputy Chief Minister? Or what sort of law and order situation was compromised by the mere presence of the family members of the...
Okay, Shazia, let me respond to that. If you're going to condole a family...
First of all, nobody was arrested. Now again, a drama is being created, and we can't expect anything else from Aam Aadmi Party. But detained, like Rahul Gandhi was, like anyone else would have been, because of the sensitivity of the situation, and because Arvind Kejriwal is a CM, he should respect the law and order machinery also, which requests him to, and despite several warnings and requests not to enter. Surely the condolences could have been given a few days later, a few hours later, not directly or through someone else. Speeches could have been made at another place, but going where the suicide had taken place, where we can imagine a situation where what a family goes through when something like this happens, when the tempers are running high, when the situation is so sensitive. Surely is taking political mileage of the situation and then acting all naive and cute about it, which is very unbecoming, which is really unbecoming.
Okay, let me also get in Mr. Uttam Reddy of the Congress, who's a spokesperson of the Congress with us, and you will be accused of similar opportunism. So if you had Mr. Kejriwal going from the Aam Aadmi Party, you had your Congress Vice President represent you. What was the point? What really was the point of that visit, Mr. Reddy?
Padmaja, besides being the Congress President for Telangana State, I am also an ex-serviceman myself. I have served in the Indian Air Force for many years. And firstly, I must say that it's very, very unfortunate that a Subedar who's done many decades of service for the Indian Army had to commit suicide. Second, all of you must know that what OROP was promised and what is being implemented, there is a wide difference between the two. OROP is not being implemented as per what is passed in Parliament in the Congress regime.
Okay, Mr. Reddy, now there are three parts to this debate. First is about the nitty-gritties of one rank, one pension itself, and at the time when it was rolled out, I had debated it extensively. Let's just leave that aside for a second. My very simple question to you is, a man died in the most unfortunate circumstances. As an ex-serviceman yourself, you would understand that right now his community, his family needs to grieve for him. Do they really need politicians and their posse descending on them like a swarm of locusts?
No, I think you're putting it wrongly. For those of us who have been in public life for many decades, for anybody who passes away, at their moment of grief, we go and console them, we try and offer them whatever help we can. So it was perfectly right for Rahul ji to go to the hospital and call on the the kin of the bereaved, the family of the person who died, At the moment they needed this consolation. It was the right thing to do.
All right, Shazia Almi, I'd let you respond to that before I
Well, you know, this has become, I'm afraid this has become the scenario, whether it's Rohit Barmula's suicide or Kanhaiya's speech in JNU or anything untoward that happens, you know, because it can lead to political mileage. Everybody dissents and every party is guilty of that. All I'm saying is some restraint could have been maintained. A few hours could have been waited by both the parties. And not every opportunity is a way to strike at the Prime Minister, BJP, talking about and linking it to surgical strikes. This is a very unfortunate situation. In fact, you take the gravity of the situation, dilute it by connecting it with surgical strike, by making it political. If they were really bothered, they would have just been concerned about the Subedar's death and the implementation of OROP, instead of bringing in the governance and surgical attacks and what is being done with the Sainiks are not being done. Just the very fact that they're making a speech about it and using it means that they don't care about the Subedar.
Okay, Shazia Almi, Mr. Reddy and Raghav Chadha, just stay with me for a second, because what happened to this ex-serviceman's family, make no mistake about it, was reprehensible. No one should be manhandled like that and treated in that fashion, and the protest against that is completely valid, but the politics, one cannot condone that either. We've got Atir Khan now joining us live. Yes, Atir, give us the latest situation at the spot where you are.
Well, you see now I've reached Jantar Mantar, and the one rank one pension protesters are still, you know, outside camping here. But let me tell you, outside Parliament Street Police Station, the police have bundled up the protesters, the Aam Aadmi Party protesters, and they have taken them inside the buses to another location for detention, preventive detention. Remember, there's a section 144 which has been imposed in the entire New Delhi area, excepting this Jantar Mantar road where I'm standing at the moment, and therefore the police acted and have removed them from them. Some of them are adamant they do not want to move because they are protesting that the kind of treatment which has been given to the Aam Aadmi Party leaders is reprehensible. They condemn it, and that's why they're protesting outside the police station.
All right, Atir, stay with me. We have to head into a very quick break, but we'll get you the very latest from the various spots where right now there is activity still taking place. The Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, you can see at the Lady Hardinge Medical College, where the post-mortem being conducted on the late Subedar. Welcome back. You're with the very latest on India Today. In fact, earlier in the day, some very damning allegations being made against the Delhi police by the family of late Subedar Grewal, where his son Yashwant, while speaking to India Today, claimed that not only had they been taken into preventive detention, but were also manhandled by the police. Let's listen.
सर बताइए, आपके पापा ओरॉप की लड़ाई कब से लड़ रहे हैं, वो क्या चाहते थे?
देश की सेवा पहले की, 3 साल 9 महीने पहले सेवा की देश की, फिर गांव की सेवा की, फिर सैनिक भाइयों के लिए 1 रैंक 1 पेंशन के मुद्दा के लिए जो मुद्दा है उनके लिए संघर्ष कर रहे थे, तो उनके नाकामी देखते हुए भावुकताओं में देश के प्रति और देश के प्रति निछावर हो गए, और उन्होंने नोट में लिखा, मैं मेरे देश के लिए प्राणों निछावर कर रहा हूं, एवं मेरे देश के वीर जवानों के लिए प्राणों को निछावर कर रहा हूं.
Major General Satbir Singh, who in fact has been heading the Ex-Servicemen's Association and the demand for 1 rank 1 pension for several months now. He's with us on the phone line, as is Raghav Chadha of the Aam Aadmi Party. Mr. Uttam Reddy of the Congress is live with us, and will be joined by Shazia Almi of the BJP also in a while. But General Satbir Singh, I want to ask you first, what do you make of the politics which is happening right now? All right, we'll go across to General Satbir Singh in just a second from now. But Raghav Chadha, right now, do you find that there is almost a one-upmanship, a competition taking place between the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress for this particular issue?
A couple of things, Padmaja. First of all, I don't speak for the Congress, but as far as my political party is concerned, which has a government in Delhi, I think it is their responsibility to offer any and every sort of help that the bereaved family requires. That's one. Number two, as we speak and as we claim that this government, the Modi government, is essentially run by goons and bullies, here is an example right in front of us, whereas a former chief of army staff, a sitting minister in this government, has made an obnoxious comment. He's a repeat offender, mind you, and he's made a comment saying that the mental health of the deceased soldier needs to be probed and the motives behind his death need to be probed. I mean, I don't think that any man of sound mind would make such obnoxious comments. And lastly, your question on the politics surrounding this entire episode. Here is an example of the Bharatiya Janata Party putting up posters in poll-bound regions and saying, because we did surgical strikes, therefore you vote for us. The Prime Minister on the day of Diwali misled the nation when he said that OROP was implemented fully as promised, which is not the case, and therefore the suicide has happened. What is really doing politics is that you stop elected representatives from offering help just because you think that there will be a political backlash. What the politics that the Bharatiya Janata Party has been doing today stands exposed.
Okay.
I mean, the least that we expect now is for the Prime Minister and Defence Minister to apologize and meet the bereaved family rather than asking their police to kick and drag them.
All right, Shazia Almi?
Yes, it's really shocking how this gentleman speaks. You know, this is such a sensitive matter, and everything that is being done by the police in charge need not be dictated by the government. It's true that Delhi police does report to center. There is a certain way Delhi police is reacting to the situation and responding. And if repeated requests have been made both to Rahul Gandhi and to Arvind Kejriwal to let the moment be, let the moment pass, it is a sensitive situation, as we can see. What is the need to go there and then and get maximum political mileage and extract maximum political gains from a situation? I don't understand. And the Prime Minister himself mentioned and said, no, just something should be done. The fact of the matter is, because ever since the surgical strikes have happened, the mood has changed in Punjab. And Arvind Kejriwal, who's never in Delhi, for anything that happens in Delhi, there are people dying in Delhi because of dengue or chikungunya.
Would you also perhaps like to comment on what General V.K. Singh, former army chief, in fact member of parliament from neighbouring Ghaziabad, had to say about this deceased soldier, where he questioned whether his mental faculties were okay?
Maja, even, somebody who commits suicide would not be of sound mental health. He would be very traumatized. If they were of sound mental health, they would not. Committing suicide is not an action of a mentally sound person. Somebody who's emotionally distraught and sad would do it. And all the biggest thing is saying is, let us probe the motive. Let's not just start jumping and saying, hey, this was done, and now let's seek political mileage.
Okay, so you're saying there was no disrespect intended, and that was only a statement of his medical condition, which General V.K. Singh somehow divined.
Absolutely.
All right, just stay with me, because we also have Major General Satbir Singh with us on the phone line now. General Satbir Singh, what do you make of this entire madness, the politics, which has started over Subedar Grewal and his suicide since morning? Has the focus been completely lost from the cause itself?
Padmaja, I'm really surprised. I am really surprised. Since morning, we've been hearing all kinds of information on the media, on various channels, saying some entirely different thing. Somebody's politicking, somebody's playing politics, or actual real thing is being missed out. Now, it's unfortunate that a JCO, a Subedar Saab, who has served as a Jawan in the Indian Army for 6 years, and 30 years he has served the Defence Security Corps. Well, he has committed suicide. Well, suicide is a crime as far as defence forces are concerned, but he has taken this step, which is a very serious one. The government must look up. Now, people have been saying that he should not have done this. Some people are blaming Jantar Mantar. Somebody saying it has been done at Jantar Mantar. It's all pack of lies. It has been totally misrepresented. Some senior officers, even ministers, are saying something which is irrelevant. And even some senior officer who seems to have told the line of the government of the day, and they are blaming that the people who are sitting at Jantar Mantar are probably responsible.
Okay, and there are differences, of course. That is that issue. Yes, General Sadbir Singh, I know there are differences within the movement itself, and there are insinuations being made about what really drove Subedar Grewal to suicide. But really, now is not the time for that. This need to be investigated. Also, greater clarity on exactly where does OROP stand right now. But all of that aside, two things cannot be condoned. A, this kind of cynical politics over a man's suicide. And the second, the manhandling of his bereaved family. For now, thank you very much, General Sadbir Singh, Raghav Chadda, Shazia Ilmi, all for having joined us on this story. Our thoughts at the end of the day still remain with this family who've lost their head.